Today I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag, so let's just get into it. The first question is, are there any books you've started this year that you haven't finished? And this question is way too relevant for me because I've been in a reading slump for most of the year, so I just have not been finishing books for like months now. So these are not all of the books I haven't finished, but it's a good representation. I'm not going to be able to say this author's name, but the first book is Edouard Levé's Suicide. This book is honestly like the author's suicide note because he wrote it shortly before he committed suicide, but it portrays itself as an investigation into a close friend's suicide. I only got 30 pages in and then I stopped because I was at a really sad point in my life and I should not have been reading this. But that said, I do want to go in and try it again at some point, just maybe not right now. Next book is Outline by Rachel Cusk. I guess that's how you say it. I started reading this book. I did not get far enough in to tell you what it's actually about. I took the bookmark out. I only got like at max 15 pages in. They were talking a lot about love in the beginning and it made me sad, so I put this down. Also, Essex Servants by Sarah Perry. I started this one recently actually. I got to page 20. Good for me. But this one I just couldn't get into right away, and I've just been putting books down really fast lately because I just want to like get into a book right at the beginning. So again, I'll read this at some point. I like the cover. I think it's pretty, but just not right now. And then next, this one's a little funny, is The Labyrinth of the Spirits by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I bought this book, I had read the back, and I just thought it was like one book, but this is actually the fourth book in a series. And I've read the first book of the series, but not the second or third. So I only got like a few pages into this, like maybe 5 or 6 before realizing. So now I have to buy the other 2 books in order to read this one, because I bought this one full price, so one day I'm gonna get through the series. This one doesn't have a cover on, so you can see that I was reading it. This is To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. I picked this book up because I really love A Little Life, and I was excited to read her next book, but I found it kind of confusing and I haven't been able to get into it. I've given this one a good shot. I'm on page 254. That's a lot of reading. And I'm telling myself I'm gonna like slowly read it over time to like eventually finish it. But we'll see if that happens. And then the last one I have is The Ghost, A Cultural History by Susan Owens. I was really excited about this book. I bought this book at the Catacombs. I thought it was perfect. I came into it thinking that it was going to be kind of like an anthropological survey of ghosts throughout our history, like that. I've started reading it and so far she just like references a bunch of like old books in Britain. And I'm just like, I'm not British. I don't know British history. And even if I was British and knew British history, I don't think I would want to read someone just taking like paragraphs out of a book and be like, see, this is how they saw ghosts, or this is how ghosts were represented in this book. It's not that interesting. I want to trudge through it though. The second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? I think I'm doing this tag a little late because it's already well into autumn. But for me, this book was supposed to be, again, The Ghost, A Cultural History. It's not working out so well. So I came up with some others that like maybe could help me get in more of an autumnal state of mind. Those are Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterreza. I've never looked at that name before, so that was just my first try. I'll get better next time. All I know about this book is that there's cannibalism in it, which automatically made me interested because that's how I am. I think this would be a fun little spooky read. And then obviously I had to go with Stephen King, so Thinner by Richard Bachman. No idea what this book is about, but I tend to just pick up King novels without knowing what they're about and diving into them. And this one's like relatively short, so I could read it, and it could be a spooky read transitioning me to the end of the year. The next question is there a new release that you're still waiting for? I don't really keep up with the new releases. I've got a lot going on, and I haven't been quite as into like the bookish communities as I used to, but I was watching the video of someone else who did this tag, and they said that Madeline Miller is coming out with a new book called Galatea? I don't know how it's said. I love Madeline Miller though. I know it's gonna be Greek mythology because that's what she does, and I think she's great at it, and I would love to pick it up at some point. I don't think it's being sold right now, but maybe I'm wrong. The next question is, what are 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? This one's tough because I'm so moody right now. I'm in such a slump. But I picked out 3. First book is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. Really, I picked this up because I love the cover. But I also know it has a lot to do with like female friendship, and also talks about beauty standards in South Korea, which I find really interesting. So I'd love to get to this one soon. The next is Hangsaman by Shirley Jackson. No idea what this book is about. I don't want to read the back cover. I want to read this because I'm actually planning a video doing like reading a certain celebrity's favorite books, and this is included in it. I also think this is a great time of the year to read it, and I like Shirley Jackson from when I've read of her before, so I think this one would be perfect to read before the end of the year. And then we actually have another book that I did not finish, which I didn't realize when I was compiling the list of the ones I haven't finished. But that's Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. This book talks about like indigenous wisdom versus like scientific knowledge and the teaching of plants, which it says on the cover. That's what I copied. I like it. I don't know why I haven't been picking it up. I started reading this like really early in the year. I'm only on page 86, and I think it's a great book, so why am I not reading it? It doesn't make sense. I'd like to finish this one before the end of the year. The next question is there a book that could still shock you and become your favorite read of the year? I don't have this with me physically because I just ordered it, but it's Pachinko. I can't think of the author's name because I can't use my phone right now with my camera. Don't know much about it except that it's historical fiction, and for some reason, all of a sudden I just really wanted to read it really bad. So I'm hoping it could be a favorite. And then the last question is, have you made any reading plans for next year? I don't give myself like strict reading plans. I will say there's a lot of like reading challenges I want to do, like more celebrity readings, stuff like that. I also want to read more nonfiction because it's been really, really hard to read nonfiction while in school. But it's just been really challenging for me to keep up with that kind of reading while also doing my readings for school. So I'd love to like challenge myself to read more nonfiction because I love nonfiction. And then lastly, I want to start reading books I don't think I'll like, because I have so many books on my bookshelf that have been here for years and years and years, and I haven't picked up, and it's gotten to the point where like I don't really want to pick them up. So I want to start reading those so I can unhaul them and free up space on my bookshelf and maybe like find a book that I actually really like. And that is all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.